Stop being so committed to the idea that you only have one authentic way of being, one authentic way of speaking. That's a lie, and it's holding you back from growing as a communicator. Welcome to the Foster Your Voice podcast with me, Christy Foster. After a 30-year career in music and theater, I never imagined I'd be coaching trial attorneys. But once I entered your world, I quickly realized how critical and underutilized voice is in the courtroom. The truth is, you don't win trials with brute strength. You win with your voice. I'll give you tools to unlock your voice so you can communicate not just with purpose, but on purpose. If you want quick action tips to help you stay calm and in control, keep jurors engaged, and inspire your listeners to action, all through the power of your voice, you're in the right place. I'm Christy Foster, and I'm here to help you foster your voice. Hello, welcome. Thanks for being here today and for being part of the Foster fam. We're just a few episodes into this podcasting adventure, and the response has been really encouraging. One listener said, "When the student is ready, the master appears." I'm thrilled to discover the Foster Your Voice podcast and voice expert Christy Foster. Powerful professional wisdom in a concise, action-oriented format. I listened to the first episode 3 times in a row and picked up more wisdom each listen. This podcast will help me massively increase good communication skills and simultaneously decrease the frustrations from being misunderstood. That was from Christina Chisholm. Thank you so much, Christina. I love that. I'd love everyone's continued help in getting the word out about this podcast. If you're a trial attorney, or if you know a trial attorney, or really anyone that has to communicate to anyone ever, please share this with them. And if you don't mind, go ahead and leave a star rating and write a quick review. Hey, before we really get into today's topic, take just a second to check in with your face. If you're driving, wait till you're at a stoplight, but just look in the mirror quick and bring awareness to your face. How's your forehead doing? How are those 2 lines between your eyebrows? Can you release any tension there? Are you squinting? Can you soften your eyes a bit? Where is your tongue and what is it doing? Are your teeth clenched or is your jaw completely shut? So try this. Try releasing your jaw and letting your teeth separate just a little bit. Keep your mouth closed and keep breathing through your nose. Just let your jaw go a little slack and let your teeth unclench. Then let your tongue just touch the roof of your mouth gently, like towards the top teeth, but just slightly behind. And then you have just a light suction to the top of your mouth. There shouldn't be any pressure or force. And of course, now you're probably forcing because you're thinking about it and being purposeful with mouth placement, but just try to find that nicely relaxed position. Check in with your face throughout the day, particularly when you're in thinking times or high concentration zones. I remember when I was watching TV as a family growing up, and my mom would just reach over and just gently tap my eyebrows and say, "What are you thinking about, Christy?" And I wasn't thinking anything. I was just watching TV, but it was a reminder how when I'm thinking or concentrating, I hold tension right here between my eyebrows. Maybe you do too. So just give a gentle tap and just release that tension. As I tell my clients all the time, think with your brain, not with your face. If there is unnecessary tension you're holding in your face, your jaw, neck, shoulders, or even your hands, just look for opportunities to release that. It's cellular energy being expended in unproductive, unuseful, unpurposeful ways. Reclaim that energy and redirect it to strategic communication. Keep healing that mind-body connection that we discussed in last week's episode. You know what I hate? Being misunderstood. It's actually one of my biggest fears, if I'm honest, right up there with birds. Yes, I'm afraid of birds. Leave me alone about it already. Being misunderstood is just the worst, though. Trying to communicate something and seeing that it's just not landing the way you intend. Too harsh of tone with your kid or spouse that ended up setting them off. A thinking face that got interpreted as annoyance or irritation and ended up shutting down the conversation and leaving you baffled. It's so frustrating in our personal lives, but in the courtroom, your mismatched communication profile could break your case and lose you a deserving verdict. So, I've created a free guide to get you thinking about the emotional profiles you create. It's a printable guide to help you 10x your communication impact by mastering 6 emotional profiles for clear and authentic connection. I break down the 6 core emotions: happy, sad, love, pride, anger, and fear by giving you face, body, and breathing cues. Plus, I show you exactly which point on a 1 to 10 scale you should be with your pitch, pace, melody, volume, and tone in order to authentically capture the center of that core emotion. The link to get your free guide is in the show notes or by simply going to my website, fostervoicestudio.com. Don't wait to clear up your part of miscommunication and misunderstandings. Get your free download today. Last summer, I was doing a virtual training for a group of Wisconsin attorneys all about maximizing juror engagement. Just a side note, if that's something you'd like me to work with your firm or your lawyer group on, just reach out. I'll put a link in the description and we can talk options. Anyway, the training is all about the 5 vocal building blocks: pitch, pace, melody, volume, and tone. And then who are the 5 types of listeners you have in the jury box at any given time. Once you know these things, then you can strategically use your vocal building blocks to meet their listening and learning needs so that they stay engaged. Okay, so after doing all this vocal exploration and discussing the need to expand your vocal range, someone said in the Q&A, "But it just feels so inauthentic. I feel like I'm so fake when I talk that way." Look, I totally get it. Jurors can see through insincere and inauthentic presentational style a mile away. We know how off-putting that performative model is. It feels manipulative, even smarmy, gross. Of course, that's the complete opposite of how you want to be perceived in the courtroom. Because of this fear of being perceived as inauthentic, you then suppress all communication creativity and go to the opposite extreme of being vocally flat and uninteresting. So, what do we do? Well, first, I want to look at it from a different angle. Let's consider that our feelings are the outcome of the thoughts that we hold. We feel things because of a thought that we have about a particular situation, circumstance, or thing. This feeling that experimenting with your voice is inauthentic stems from a thought or belief that you only have one authentic self. Therefore, anything beyond the bounds of what you always do, how you always communicate, feels fake and phony. So let's just debunk this. Don't you talk differently to little kids than you do to professional colleagues? I hope so. Both voices come from you. How about how you speak to your pets? Does that feel foreign and inauthentic? Well, that's also you. You talk differently when you're hangry than when you're rested and content. Both are you. You talk differently to your spouse than you do to your pickup basketball guys. Both are you. You are a complex human being. Stop being so committed to the idea that you only have one authentic way of being, one authentic way of speaking. That's a lie, and it's holding you back from growing as a communicator. You're just not used to doing those instinctive vocal changes in professional settings. But your voice is literally coming out of you. What could be more authentic than that? So listen, it's not inauthentic, it's just new. But think of it like a student who's learning to play an instrument for the first time. You might even have a fifth grader in your home that just joined their school band or orchestra, and your home is full of those awkward blurts and blats. You don't berate them and tell them how inauthentic they are. No, they're just learning. You give them time and space to learn in a safe environment. Think of your voice and your nonverbal development as learning to play an instrument. You're going to have to practice before it starts to feel natural. You're going to have to try some things that will feel a little awkward for a bit. But everyone goes through puberty. We all have that awkward stage. Of course, puberty was biological and you didn't really have a choice. Becoming a masterful communicator will be a choice you have to make and a commitment to do the work and grow in your skills. But here's the trick. Test things in low stakes situations. Test with people that don't have a prior frame of reference to what you normally sound like, with people who haven't previously matched your look with your sound. Test it out. What are you testing? Well, when you place your next coffee order, try raising your voice up just a little bit. If you regularly speak down here, try speaking here with someone who doesn't know you. Test it out. You'll see that they don't react at all. They don't know any different, and you don't sound inauthentic to them. When you're buying stamps or checking out a book or asking a grocery store clerk where the capers are, which now you have a weird insight into my life and routine. When you do those things, just talk a little louder than usual, just a little. Elevate your voice to like a 6 or 7 on a 1 to 10 scale. Considering that you probably usually speak around a 5, like I am now on a 1 to 10 scale. Remember, it's not inauthentic, it's just new. Lean into the newness and be strong and of good courage. You can do it. Your clients need you to do it. Jurors need you to do that. And I'm here to help you foster your voice. Thanks for pulling up a seat with me today and for being part of the Foster fam. Make sure you're subscribed to the podcast so you don't miss a single episode. And while you're at it, go ahead and leave a review or a comment so I can give you a shout out on a future episode. During the week, you can find me on Instagram at Foster Voice Studio, where I'm dropping little nuggets of vocal technique and leadership wisdom. You can also join my mailing list by visiting fostervoicestudio.com or by clicking the link in the show notes. I'll send a weekly vocal tip every Tuesday directly to your inbox. Until then, keep fostering your voice.